essentially no gender preference. But what you also found was that it's very hard to cultivate these higher vibrational energies while still being in the energetic exchange of male and female, which tends to lead people. We will even use the term astray, and we are playing with you here, but of course leads people into other more gross concerns of reproduction and attraction, rather than cultivating that sense of release into a higher form of surrender into the beauty of source and the revelation of pure spirit into your spaces. And this you find in all uncorrupted traditions, all traditions that haven't been hijacked by other energies but nominally remain the same. And when these energies, they become hijacked, you will find that often from these institutions, individuals then emerge to try and integrate these energies into the human collective in different ways. And so this was, for instance, the idea of your Luther, who in his own rebellion began to integrate that sense of personal autonomy into the realm of religion, because the corrupted spaces with which he had tried to reach the divine in his work in the cloisters, those were essentially futile for him. And so he began to try to push this energy of discernment into your society. Well, other examples would be an individual such as your Sigmund Freud, who emerged also from the universities and the realm of education, which you could say was also a sacred, knowledgeable space that held a higher vibration and a higher degree of insight that the surrounding society. And then he began to release this insight to actually begin to allow for the individual human being to begin to understand themselves as a more whole system of opposites that were trying to unite itself into a balance by balancing out these different forces. And that became a permission slip also for you to then reintegrate the mental energies into your physicality. And now this is the merging of different layers that you are seeing. It is that your entire society is essentially becoming spiritualized. And you may think, hey, Umblam and Arcturians, what are you talking about? It seems like society is quite sick. But yes, of course, as you know, your pregnancies, they would also, if you didn't know them, seem to follow a pattern of disease that is a type of building up to a climactic point where something breaks and it actually threatens to rip the birth-giving mother apart, and does to some extent as she brings forward new life. And so there is a gestation within your societies. And notice what you have been experiencing now is also actually a type of paralysis that comes before this great release of something new and something different. That is what you are merging into. It is the structures breaking apart and the individual becoming autonomous to a degree where it merges into a higher dimension. And there you will see that the autonomy that you experience as focused individual in an individual or individually is essentially a universal energy that is then interpreted personally and is then expressed personally, but it arises from a unified field from which there is no separation, from which there is only movement into a higher degree of love, because love is essentially the attention, the focus that holds and creates worlds. It is that thing that allows for something instead of nothing to be. It is the idea that there is gratitude in every breath you take. There is gratitude in the energy that flows through you. And the more you align with this sense of gratitude, this joy in being, of being, the more you will realize that you are simply an energetic pattern that is creating greater and greater harmonies out of the structures that it is built from, that came before it. And these harmonies, they will play out in new and more complex, more developed, more loving, more concrescent, more integrated realities as you move into it. So with those perspectives, we hope that we have shed some light on the beauty of spirit as it comes into your lives, and we are so happy and grateful ourselves to be able to participate in this process, because you are very dear to us humans, and to see how you work with the very disparate energies, moving them into a unified field of love and connection. That is our highest pleasure in this moment and in our interaction with you. So as our friend said in the beginning, blessings to you in this sacred moment of time. May the divine light of Source, may the love of infinite creation reach out and touch you, and may you feel that you are that. With love and blessings, I, Umblam of the Arcturian Council, I thank you for being in being. Goodbye.